even as we speak, this as I blog this, Boris up here like trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna discount what he's saying and stuff like that by means of Terror Network or whatever network, access network that is. You know what I'm saying? Out of pure motive. No. With all the complaints I've had, as much as I've prospered, takes nothing away from the complaints. But discounting me is almost like, whatever. This is just beyond me, my life. If a person like this upstairs, and you try to correlate it to be like to implicate her, you don't want to, because you know, other than being a cancer, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. You know what I mean? You try to introduce yourself in the beginning. Hey, what's going on? I live underneath you. I'm like, oh, alright, oh, I guess that didn't work out. And so that's how that goes, alright? So with that, you're like, so what about, like, you know what I mean? What about getting $14,000? You know what I'm talking about? Getting $14,000 the first round versus two. Like, damn, that's a large check. That is a large check. And like, what am I gonna do? Instant reaction, Shima. I'm going back to work. It's not enough. $900 is not enough. I have not been here. I have too much inexperience to say, oh, $900 can do it if I just get in with the family and get in with my relatives and stuff like that. When I want my own independence is what I'm looking for, and that was not what it was going to afford me. Given it didn't work out in San Francisco, given it didn't work out with the colleges or whatnot, I defaulted, something like that. Given it didn't work out, and given the metaphysical danger here and stuff like that, and possibly whatever could happen and me defending myself, I would have to say, beyond that, bigger than me, and to say, oh, well, you're surrounded, you're in a black community. You're in a black community where people of color and the same people of poverty take advantage of that fact. I'm like, well, I'm still here, executive order, and I'm not calling on National Guards, I'm not calling on something to say the fact that that's a bad or positive, but I mean, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So, those injustices go on, but at the same time, America affords the fact that some people are like, oh, well, we're experienced in this, and we know how to handle situations of domestic abuse, domestic violence, and stuff like that on a level that's pretty, like, subpar, if you will, in my opinion, subpar, but that pretty much keeps it at a distance. Well, if I'm sitting up here watching TV and you release the internet in 1995 or whatever, you release the internet in 1995, and all of a sudden you have social media websites where you can post up. You're not only doing recordings on double cassette decks where it's just you listening. Now you're broadcasting to whoever can listen, even though it's not organic, even though it may be organic. You're still broadcasting to like audiences like maybe it's reaching upper clouds, the technology of clouds, whatever conspiracy theory you think, what clouds and seafloor cable and holograms and like dragon clouds, whatever, right? And like Godzilla, right? And so like you're like in the middle of all that, you have someone elderly person who can't stop making noise. You have surrounding situations. You have basically a marginalized life, right? And it's been that way, right? Now, you sit up here and say, oh, we're going to put this guy in charge. I'm not saying to put me in charge. I'm not saying airlift us out of here by the pterodactyls and be like, you know what I mean? And so, like, where are we going? Like that. And stuff like that. But if I got myself out of here, and I'm just saying, if I got myself out of here from San Francisco, out of San Francisco, into Sacramento by way of asking for laborious help from the people standing over the corner of you all. If I got myself out of San Francisco into Sacramento, 100 miles away, you didn't have to move that far. Oh, yeah, I don't want to get away from the Bay Area. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I sit up here and without methods of like a program, where relatives are known, so like skip, I've been traumatized by this, and I need to be closer to this, and this. It seems to be always a sob story. But what you see on TV is not the sob story. You see the constant assault. Even here, I was going to say around here, it's not the sob story. It's the constant assault. It's the constant intimidation. It's the constant, type of stuff. And I was like, wait, this is not what you told your social worker. This is not what these numbers don't match. I mean, this story doesn't match. So then, said, and so I gotta be correct to you. I don't gotta be correct to you about that. Hey, what I'm saying? I don't know. It's a golden rule: treat people, behavior breeds behavior, or treat unto others like you want to be treated. You know what I mean? Like you too, basically. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel about it. And if you chose life to be backwards in life, then you chose life. If you chose life to be half backwards in life, you chose life to be half backwards. Hey, that's your own decision. You have to live with it. If you want to break out of it, hey, by all means, it's your life. No one else is gonna live it for you. No one else is gonna do it for you. So if you say, oh, I'm tired of being labeled as negative, then don't be negative. Then get out of being negative. And so with that, with that, that's nothing. You don't sit up here and try to preach to nature and be like, oh, it's such and such. And try to make it formulate into a nice Disneyland story where sometimes you post things that are like, I'm in a good mood, I feel like posting my fish tanks. I'm in a good mood, I feel like posting my guinea pigs and stuff like that. And people get advantageous and try to get like, oh, he's just busting out happy talk and stuff like that. And maybe I am. They insult me, you're not, maybe I am. They put a damper on the mood, maybe you do. But that's what you do. I can't control that. You know what I mean? So with that, so that's just another segment of what I'm talking about.